I did this one Poshmark hack for exactly 7 days. This was my sales for the 7 days that I tried this hack. Let's get into it. Let's see if it actually works. I have heard everyone talk about for years that relisting old items daily will get you sales, will bring a ton of likes to your closet, will get other things to sell. And I sell, if you know, you know, I have been reselling on Poshmark for 6 years and I have never done this. I have never consistently delisted and relisted old items. I have only done this twice a year for the last 6 years. So the way I do it, if you're new, hello, welcome to my storage unit where I store my 1,300 active listings. I sell everything from clothing to tennis rackets. I just met someone at the Walmart parking lot off Facebook Marketplace, and I sold some tennis balls that I found, like 50 of them. I sell everything. I store it all here. Consider subscribing if you like these types of videos. I upload multiple times a week. But I have always, since I've started selling on Poshmark 6 years ago, I only delete and relist when I do my inventory. So inventory for me, I'll quickly tell you what my process is. I go through every single one of these bins. I currently have bins up to 115. You can currently see like almost number 1 to like what, 26. So there's even bins behind you. I go through every single bin. If you are new here, I am a one-woman show. Inventory takes me a very long time. I go through every bin. I make sure everything is listed. I see if anything needs updated descriptions, titles. Maybe I need to change the pricing. Comps have changed. And then if I think something needs to be changed, I will either delete and relist, or I'll just delete and donate. I'll delete and send to ThreadUp. So I only do that twice a year. Twice a year, I delete and relist. And it's not even everything. Like I'm not deleting and relisting everything. That would just take me, it already takes me a month to do that process. So I have never done this before, this little experiment. I'm going to go through the numbers with you. I'm going to tell you what sold from items that I have relisted, what didn't sell, if I think it's worth it. So grab a snack, grab a drink. We're going to go through exactly what I did right now, and I'm going to share the data with you.
All right, here is exactly what I did. I pulled 50 items that have been listed in my Poshmark closet for over 6 months. It's really important that if you're going to try this, that you do not delist and relist anything that has been listed for less than 60 days, or else you will trigger Poshmark's automation or AI, whatever they're using, and you might get a ban on your account. They implemented the excessive deleting policy a couple months ago, and a lot of people have been banned for doing this, even just a couple of items. So really be careful. I made sure that I only did items that have been listed for 6 months or more, and I relisted these items throughout the 7 days, and I relisted them different ways, manually and using automation. We'll talk about that a little bit in the video. And here is what I tracked. So I tracked likes, offers, and the closet traffic overall on the relisted items and the items that had just been new listings or things that had already been listed. But I really focused on the things that I relisted, and I made sure to separate those numbers from the items that have just, you know, like I'm listing daily or things that have already been listed. So that's the experiment I did for 7 days. Again, I can't stress this enough. If you're going to try this, make sure you are only delisting and relisting things that have been listed for 60 days or more.
Now, I'm going to be super honest. Day 1 felt like a lot of busy work. I went in and manually did this. So I went into my Poshmark closet, deleted the items, and then manually relisted them. If you're wondering why I'm saying manually, because I do have a lot of automation in my business. I use Posher VA. Posher VA offers you to delete and relist for you. It's like a click of a button. I also have Vindu where you can delete and relist, but I wanted to really start doing this manually. For those of you that don't use those things, you may not use Posher VA, Vindu, or whatever software, and you're just deleting and relisting manually. So I wanted to try it all of the ways. And I'm going to tell you, day 1 and day 2 absolutely sucked, because if you are new here, I also get up new listings every day. And like I said, I'm a one-woman show. I should say like I'm like a two-person show. Okay, so it's me, and then I do. Oh, sorry, I'm new to using the mics in the storage unit. I just purchased this. I'll link it down below. Super affordable, but I need to remember to not hit it. I have a virtual assistant. She's been with me for almost 6.5 years, but she and I have scaled back. We used to both list daily, but I have scaled her back to listing 10 every other day, and I list myself 10 to 25 days a week. So I've scaled way back because if you're new here, I have a full-time job in healthcare. I have 2 kids under 4. I'm a part-time real estate agent, blah, blah, blah. I feel like I say that all the time, but we have a lot of new friends. So I can't do everything, right? So certain seasons of life, I have to like slow down certain parts of my business. And right now, fall time, real estate ramps up for me. My full-time job, I get busy with a lot of presentations. So I've slowed down with the reselling. So I still had to get up my daily listings. I'm still photographing. I'm still listing. I'm still doing my shipping. And then to sit there manually and do this was just very annoying for me because I personally get excited by listing new things. I don't even have to love what I list. I hear so many resellers say you need to love what you list. Like you have to personally like it. I do not. Like I am not attached to the adult diapers I just shipped out yesterday. I don't personally, I do like playing tennis, but like I'm not one of those resellers. I want to do reselling to make the money. If I like the item, even better. You know, it's like icing on the cake. So to relist things that aren't even new, that I'm like, I don't even know if this experiment's going to work. It was just tedious, but I got through it. And I will tell you, out of the, so I did 10 a day throughout this process. All right. So on this day, I relisted 10 items. In addition, I want to start the video with saying I'm still doing all the other reselling tasks that I always do. Okay. I'm still sharing my closet. I'm still listing new items, sharing other people's closets. I'm still doing all that stuff. But at the end, I will share the numbers with you of what the items that actually I relisted that were over a year old, what sold. I noticed immediately the first 15 I listed got a ton of likes. These are all items I've had listed for a year. When I say a ton of likes, within like the first hour, one item got 3 likes. Another item got 5 likes within like 5 hours. That's a lot for me. Sometimes Poshmark is very interesting. Sometimes I'll have an item that has no likes that'll just sell immediately. For example, literally right before I got here, Ann Taylor pants I had listed. They had no likes. And she sent me an offer for $32. She didn't even like it. And I accepted it. I think I'm listed at like 38 or 40. So likes, in my opinion, it could be an indicator of like if your item is popular. It doesn't necessarily mean that your item's going to sell super fast. But I just started to notice a lot of traction on those items that were relisted. No sales day 1, but I noticed like a lot of likes to those relisted items. Day 3 and 4 is when I finally started getting sales on these relisted items. Now, I will share, like I said, I'll share the numbers with you at the end of the video about items that were newly listed that sold during the 7 days and items that were relisted. But by day 3, I had started using Posher VA to delist and relist those items because in order to do my life, I could not keep manually doing it. I wanted to try to manually relist all this stuff through the whole experiment, but I was like, I have these tools, let me just use them. And this is when the sales started rolling in. So day 3, 5 of the relisted items sold. Day 4, 6 of the relisted items sold. That's pretty dang good. 11 out of the 50 that I'm relisting have already sold. I thought that was pretty awesome. Plus, the likes were skyrocketing on these relisted items. But I should say, like, let me keep mentioning, remember, I'm still doing all the other things, right? All the things that make reselling successful. I'm listing things that people want to buy. Like I listed some House of CB dresses. I listed a couple Revolve pieces. I'm listing things that I've checked comps and I know bring traffic to my closet. So I don't want to disillusion anyone that like this experiment is the only reason I got sales. I'm still doing all the other stuff that we know we have to do to make money, right? and reselling. And then the likes. So many likes on these items that I had listed forever. So this kind of opened my eyes to like, I see what people are talking about. Like, why have I not been relisting stuff? I know why. I don't have the time. I'm very part-time. And I will tell you, a lot of the people that have told me that they have so much success with this are the people that are more full-time than I am, or they are not more full-time, they are full-time. So they have the time to maybe delist and relist, and especially if they're using automation, they just click a button and it does it for them. I will say this experiment made me realize you do need a bigger closet to do this, because now with, I'm sure I mentioned this in the voiceover part, but with Poshmark's excessive deleting and relisting policy, if you know, you know. If you don't know, I did like 10 videos on it. I will link it down below. This fun is like all over the place. You cannot be deleting and relisting things that you've listed within the last 60 days. So if you think about it, if you only have 100 items in your closet, you can only do this like once or twice, and then that's it. You can't keep doing this. It's not something that if you have a smaller closet is sustainable. You have to have, I would say, like at least a couple hundred items. I'm thinking like closer to 1,000 to be able to do this and not get banned on Poshmark. Because like I said, if you're just deleting and relisting the same things and you have a smaller closet, you're going to get in trouble. I have talked about this ad nauseum in all of these Poshmark banning videos that I've posted recently. I'll link them down below. Check them out. But their AI will flag your account because you are deleting and relisting things that you just listed with, you know, that's, I think the requirement is 60 days or newer. So if anything you listed in within the last 60 days, you cannot delete or relist, or your account could be in trouble. Day 5 and 6, things had significantly slowed down. So each day I sold 2 of the relisted items. I also had sales for things that were newly listed and sales for other things that had been listed, but I'm not going to include those in this video. We're just going to focus on what sold that was relisted, and the likes significantly slowed down. So like day 5 and 6, things had really slowed down.
Here are the final I can't talk. Final numbers, friends. Total sales from relisted items in the 7 days, 16. The total sales from non-relisted items, 41. Closet likes, if you want to pause the video and check it out, here you go. These are the final numbers after the 7th day.
All right, my takeaway thoughts. The lighting in here is terrible. I have a little, I always link, if you're ever wondering, like, where does Nikki get her bins? By the way, everything you're seeing behind me, one of you asked recently, is from Home Depot. You can order it online. I will link them down below, or you can go in store and get them. The little ring light I'm using in here that's not doing that great, and the microphone, I'll link down below. I always check the description box. YouTube is making it harder and harder to find the description box, but if you click in the description box, every video I link like my reselling favorites, like my printer, my ring lights, and I'm pretty affordable with most of my stuff, and I'm filming on my phone. But also in my newsletter, my weekly newsletter, I always have like an Amazon pick of the week of things that I have personally bought and tried. Sorry, I just hit the mic again. That I recommend to you all. Sometimes it's lifestyle stuff. Sometimes it's stuff specific to reselling. I always link my newsletter down below. I don't bug you. I email you once a week. Also, if you sign up for my newsletter, I give you a free ebook. I created it last year. It's a book of 100 Bolo brands. So brands you want to be on the lookout for. I wrote it myself. It's like 13 pages and it's free. You can keep it in your phone, you know, while you're outsourcing. So sign up to that. It's always linked down below. I put a bunch of gems in the description box. Any discount codes I have, referral codes, links to all the stuff I'm using. So all that to say, I'm realizing if I'm going to keep filming in here, because I just want to switch up the background. If you are new here, again, subscribe. If you've made it this far, you are a true friend. Subscribe. It's free. I'm here for you multiple times a week. I just started deciding to film in here just to switch it up. Like on this channel, I always either film at the thrift store, the Goodwill outlet, or my office. And I was like, you know what? I could film here sometimes. And it proves to you guys, I'm actually a reseller. Anyways, final takeaways back to this. This, you know what I equate this to? This little experiment taught me that delisting and relisting old items is like a caffeine shot for your closet, right? Any of you that take like an espresso shot, you drink coffee, you know, it gives you like a quick boost, but then things tail off by like noon, 1 o'clock, and you're like, ooh, I need some help again. So it's like a quick boost, right? Like I told you in the voiceover part and just talking about this, it gave me a quick boost in sales on those relisted items. And it, I'm pretty sure, brought traffic to my closet because people found those things and then they looked at other things and, you know, so it's like a quick boost. It's not sustainable. Maybe if you're using automation, and I know automation on Poshmark is controversial because technically it's against their policy. I do air quotes because at the last Posh Fest, didn't they have like Posher VA as a sponsor or something? And they know that Posher VA is like an automated company. So if it's against their policy, then why is that person a sponsor at your correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it like Posher VA or was it Vindu? One of the companies that offers us all automation that most of us use was like a sponsor at their conference. I even did a survey recently, which I thought was interesting, from Poshmark that said, like, tell us about what automation you use in your business. And, you know, does that make, it was basically saying, does that make a difference on whether or not you would sell on Poshmark? And I'm like, oh, so you know we're doing this. Like, is it acceptable now? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. I just know there are a few, I'm laughing because I don't want to piss anyone off, but I know there are a few of you that have held out and used no automation. I say a few because I think the majority, I could be wrong. Let's all be nice in the comments down below. There are certain things that just set some resellers off. Stock photos, automation, like the use of AI and reselling, like those three things set some people off. There are those people that are like, I don't use automation, I don't use stock photos. You have a platform, Nikki, you're an influencer, you should not be telling people that they should do that. So I always say, I tell you what I'm doing in my business and you do what works best for you. I am never telling you to do what I do, okay? But I can tell you, I think, I don't know, the majority of us are using some type of automation with Poshmark. Now, those people are going to be very loud in the comments that don't use it. And good, I'm happy for you. I'm not telling you to, okay? I'm just telling you what I do. All that to say, if you have some automation, doing this can be a caffeine shot for your closet. It can. It can get sales for older items. It can bring traffic to your closet. You still need to be doing everything else in reselling to be successful, though. And I just don't think this is sustainable. Not for me. Not for me. Even with someone who can just click a button and say, Posher VA, delete 20 items and relist them, I'm not going to do that because I have enough new items coming to my closet, like 5 days a week, at least 5 to 10 items. Really 7 days a week are going live. So I don't want to keep regurgitating the same things. And so if you're not doing automation, this is definitely not sustainable. I do not recommend spending your time manually deleting these things and relisting them. Please don't. I did it the first couple days and it was horrible. You're better off using your time listing new items. So I will say though, this made me realize I should do this more often. Am I going to do it daily? Absolutely not. Will I do it maybe monthly? I think so, as opposed to just doing it 2 times a year. Maybe every month I'll delete and relist like 30 items that have been listed for more than a year or 6 months that haven't sold. Maybe I'll do that because like I said in the beginning, even when I do my inventory and I go through all these bins, I'm not deleting and relisting every item. I just did inventory last month. And probably out of my 1,300 items, I probably only deleted and relisted like 200. It's not very many. It's not even, it's like what, 20%? Yeah, like 20 something percent. It's not much. So I think it might be worth it because it does bring some new eyes to your items and it can help older items sell. For me personally, it's not sustainable. So yes, this hack works. Think of it like a little tool in your reseller toolbox that you use every now and then. It's just not the whole toolbox, right? Like I said, we need to be doing all the other stuff that really matters in reselling. Sourcing the items that people actually want to buy, checking comps on those, making sure that we can sell those quickly so we can get our money out that we put in the business.